Güzel şimdi.
Every day, we strive.
What tactic?
All right, welcome back to the podcast, weeks 10 through 13. Joined by none other, Pro Hooper, Coach, Mr. Get Your Footwork Right, Mr. Hezzy himself. Fresh
What's good, y'all?
What's going on?
Man, I'm doing good. Happy to be here as always. Glad we got this thing rolling. Got a lot to cover, so excited to get this on the road.
Yes, sir. Some might call him the real Death Valley representing. Your left, my right. My up, your down. Clemson's finest. Fries, how you doing, boss man?
Good, man. Happy to be here. Excited. A lot of ball to talk about. Conference championships coming. That's big things, man. Big things coming.
Yes,
Terrell,
sir.
what's new? How you feeling?
Good, man. Glad to be here. As we stare at the screen, disappointed nonetheless in the season, but you know, it is what it is. Just to move forward. So
A lot of progress though, bro. You've been winning a lot of late, so that's good.
yeah. Yes, it's first season since I've been in the league, any league that you ran, that I didn't at least make a bowl game. So, but you're right. We finished strong. Hopefully, we'll turn it around next year. So. But enough about me. Let's deep dive into these games this week, because week 10 we'll roll into it. First big game we're gonna talk about Tennessee, Texas A&M. Texas A&M was ranked at this time, but this hit them, I believe, with their fourth loss or their third loss. Excuse me. Tennessee on a roll, coming back. Fries, how do you feel about Tennessee essentially losing early and finishing strong going into the back half of conference play?
We were talking about that last podcast, how he would respond from that, because he really had never done that before in the league. I think lost 3 in a row or whatever it was. He had a little losing streak. So to bounce back in this one and kind of dominate this game and then go on that run was, I won't say I'm surprised, but it was just back up against the wall, got to have it, and rose up. So shout out him for that.
Bad work. Before we look much forward into the rest of the conference, Tennessee getting this win early in conference play, coming from, I believe he was 18th. He was out before the last podcast and then got back in the top 25 at 18th, and now he's back in the 9. How hard is it to keep him out of the playoffs at this point?
I mean, I didn't even think we were going to keep him out. You know what I mean? I would say, I would love to see it. It would speak to the league of someone of that caliber. We can find a way to box him out of the playoffs, but it was going to be tough. He's a talented dude in this game. So, yeah, I'm not that surprised that he, won this game, especially at home. I don't know how the rest of his season went, but I think this was the first. He was coming off a losing streak when he got this win. So, he's been back on track since. But, it looks like he's going to be in the conference championship game off of this win. So, hats off to him. And, he'll be in position and, might even shake out still getting a home game in the first round of the playoffs. I think a bye might be out of reach, but he'll have set himself up well to still make a run.
Before we move on, I wanna ask Fries a question. Texas A&M had some insights in the chat saying this will be his first time not in the conference championship. Do you think that's more a testament of the conferences he's been into the past, or him kind of selling this year, starting off as strong as he did, and then kind of just fumbling the bag?
I think it's got to be a mix of both because he beat me this year, so I can't talk anything too crazy. But I think we would all have been a bit surprised had he just kind of kept that pace up. I think I expected him to lose a few games in conference for sure, at least a game or two. So, I mean, this is year 3. I don't really know who he was in conferences with the years in the past, but he plays good ball. So, I say a mix of both. I think maybe some conference luck, but also this year I can't even say he fell apart though, because like at Tennessee, anybody in the league that's going to be a tough game. It's going to be tough no matter what. I don't know who his other conference loss was. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I give him more. Oh, it was Terrell. I mean, and Terrell's been playing good ball too. He got me. He got Knight. I mean, so neither one of those losses is bad at all. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that I think he's that caliber to play for conference championships.
Before we move on, is this about expected for Texas A&M, or do you think he has been under or overperforming the last 2 seasons?
I preface this by saying, like, he plays good ball, he wins games, so, he certainly is a good player. The league is deep. I do remember the conferences he was in the first 2 years, and there was a lot of. He had 2 or 3 guys who aren't in the league anymore, and probably were at the bottom of the league in that conference, and a lot of force wins. And I think it was him and Oregon went in there, and he got a big win over Oregon to win the championship. At least one of those 2 years. So hats off to him for winning that conference championship game. But in terms of the strength of the conference, I certainly know year 2 that conference was probably the worst conference, easily the worst conference. We disbanded it. We went from 5 conferences to 4, and we split up that conference. I think he won championship the first year. I think Oregon won it last year.
Yeah, he won
Oregon
year 1, but he was just in a championship game last year.
Yeah, that he was in that 5th conference that was some bullshit, to be honest. But still making it to the championship game and performing, is important. And he won one of those. So no shade here on that. As far as like, is this expected? I mean, I think it is. I think it can beat anybody. But like Fryle said earlier, on the road in Tennessee is a very tough game. I mean, he's dropped a few. He had lost 3 in a row coming into that game, but it was a must-win game for Tennessee on the road. I expected this. I didn't think it was going to be too close of a game personally, and it wasn't. So, but he definitely, whatever conference he is in every year is somebody you're going to have to worry about, especially when you go play him at his place. It's not going to be an easy game. He's going to have a good roster. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I thought he was going to be in the conference championship of this conference this season.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to the next game. Excuse me.
Oh, we can't slide over that one right there.
It didn't have as much implication as one might have thought, but I don't know if
It could have.
It could have. At the moment being, it did, but I'll let you start. I'll let you start, Files. I'll let you talk about how this game went.
Yeah, man, it's a good game, real good game. Back and forth. Couldn't get a stop late. Couldn't get my adjustments. I was streaming and trying to saying streaming because I was apparently I guess I had my streaming audio on, which I don't even really realize I do normally, but I was just trying to like I was communicating a lot. It was one of those kind of games where I'm like talking to myself like, all right, we got to do this here, we got to man him up, it was just real good challenge, which I like those kind of games. I couldn't get a stop late though, and yeah, I had a little bit of a lead I think in this one, and it got just erased. Hard fought game, conference game on the road, man. It's tough out here. Good win for you, for sure.
Bag. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the game, but what'd you think?
I watched the game. It was good ball. I believe this was Bryce Underwood coming home, I think.
It's supposed to be. He got hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Oh, he got hurt the week before. That's right. Yeah, man, good game. You know, I think I actually picked Michigan to win in game of the week for this, and it got me let me just double check this before I say it real quick.
You were the only person.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it got me like the
He's
only
taking
game of
notes.
the week, the only game of the week this week, that for week 10. Oh no, a few other people got it that week, but you know, it was a good pick for me. It's tough to go into the big house, man, and Michigan's been playing great ball, especially the second half of the season. He's been really doing his thing. Could be in this could have, maybe should have potentially been a preview of the SEC championship. But you know, to be expected. SEC is a tough conference, man. I mean, Michigan, Clemson, Texas A&M, Tennessee at the top, and you got Oregon in there too, floating around. So you know, it's probably the best conference this year. And you know, he lived up to the billing. I was happy to see Terrell get a big win. I mean, he's been in a lot of close games and came up short. So I was happy that he was able to close this one out.
For sure. The only thing I got, I think, from my personal view, I think Fryles never had a chance to really get in rhythm on offense. And I think it hurt him. I think he had a lot of big plays early, and I was consistently just chasing, trying to catch back up, because I know I had 2 or 3 different blown coverages, and then he had just long runs. So he never really got into a rhythm where I had to do essentially sustained drives all game. And then come the fourth quarter, when he finally had to kind of settle down into offense, in my opinion, he just wasn't in rhythm, and it kind of benefited me later in the game, even though he was up most of the game. Later in the game, for him to just get big play after big play, I think actually hurt him on that last drive, because he wasn't really too big in a rhythm, and I kind of took advantage, and then I finally started getting some pass rush late in the fourth quarter. So
Yeah, I think that was. I forgot to mention that time of possession, but I think it was like 15-5 or something in that range. Like I barely had the ball a lot. Some of it was because of the big shots, but it's also I felt like I just couldn't. Like it was just death by paper cut. Like you were just moving the sticks, and then I would leave something open and you hit it. Like it was tough. It was tough. But 15-5 pretty much time possession, and I guess turnover battle was equal. I don't remember really getting it. No, actually, I remember turning it over one time. But yeah, it was
I
a
think
good.
that was the final drive, but it was like 4th and 15, and I think you just had to throw something. So
Yeah, it was. I remember that. I remember you mentioned the pressure, especially like you had scored to go up 32-28, and I think you probably had like under a minute or something like that to try to get down the field. And the first 3 plays, you either got a sack or heavy pressure, which changed the game. And then he finally did get a second to throw it, but then I'm pretty sure you had your zone drops on, and then being a pick, and that was that.
Yeah, good game. But as we can see, as the rankings didn't necessarily alter as much as I would like. But we'll move on to another game that did. And Texas and Ole Miss. Ole Miss comes out with another one, good user, Texas at home conference game to continue marching up to get that conference championship window. Bad work. How do we feel about Ole Miss essentially locking in his spot in the conference championship for the ACC?
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been balling. You know what I mean? He came in, had to play some real tough opponents early in the season. I think he started the season 1-3. I think Nebraska smacked him, and then he played Notre Dame, who some people have different opinions on, but he beat Notre Dame. Then he got smacked again at home by Ohio State, and then took a 4-0 to Tennessee. So he started the year 1-3. Since then, I don't even know who's really beaten him. Georgia, who gives a lot of people tough games, gave him a tough game that, you know, Georgia kind of pissed that one away. Then he beats Florida, who Florida got a new user and have been playing really well. That's who he'll end up seeing in the ACC championship. But he beat Florida as well. And you know, Texas is always tough. So you know, he's been doing his thing. He's been handling his business and finding ways to win. So you know, gotta commend that. If he can find a way to win this conference championship game, he should get a playoff spot. I think he's a threat to anybody. So,
Fries, how do you feel about Texas dropping this one to Ole Miss? More of a reflection on ball Ole Miss has been playing, or Texas kind of just being middle of the pack this year?
Yeah, I think it's a good win for Ole Miss. Ole Miss, really good season in general. Tough conference, pretty competitive. 7 wins is nothing to, you know, definitely not a bad season at all. Probably going to get to 8 too. He has one more. I don't know who he plays this week or what's going on for him this week, but
UW this week.
you said he gets the fourth one? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Mississippi State. He plays CPU.
Okay, so yeah, he'll get to 8 wins. Like that's pretty. End up ranked, I'm sure. So really good year for him. I think him and Texas are probably. I put him a little bit above Texas for sure, but I'm not surprised he won this game. Texas roster probably makes it a kind of a toss-up in this game. So good year for Ole Miss, and I don't think Texas can be too disappointed. I'm sure he was though. I mean, you know, we know Texas, man. He definitely has a lot to say, but it's not a rough loss. It's Ole Miss's quality.
Yes, sir. That'll be the coverage for Week 10. As we move to Week 11, let's go ahead and take a look at this Texas A&M and Miami game. J-Roth
Wow.
at home. This one was played at home. Was able to pull out the major upset to get over Texas A&M. Fries, how do you feel about this? The season that Miami has had, to be able to come back and get a big win and essentially play spoiler for Texas A&M on his conference championship hopes.
Major respect for Miami still competing, and I think we all know he gets up for these kind of games or situations. I think he takes pride in that underdog role, or when people count him out. So it's a real good win, because kind of probably the difference between A&M making the playoffs, right? This game, it might end up being that, really. So
100%.
yeah, it's massive win for J-Roth in a lost season otherwise too. So nice. That's what's up, man. Shout out him for that. Huge win for his program. I don't think it's gonna help him a ton, maybe recruiting wise. We'll see. I'm sure he might have a recruit on. I don't know, but just a big win for. I'm sure his mind is knowing he can compete with some of the better players in the league. That's what's up.
Backward, talk about Miami's season and what we assumed was going to be the toughest conference, and where he finished or is finishing. Even though he's able to get this one over Texas A&M, how do you think he's feeling this year?
I mean, Miami's been in tough conferences. Like, you know, add him to the list of why the SEC is the toughest conference. I mean, I named that top 4 plus Oregon plus Miami. I mean, the SEC was a meat grinder this year for sure. And he's playing with I mean, on the one hand, he doesn't play with pocket QBs. He seems to need like a super top end QB for his style of play. I mean, because if he has a great pocket QB, year one he wanted to change teams because Carson Beck wasn't the guy for him. Year two, he gets Rocco Beck, who is, an elite mobile quarterback. Year three, he went and got another mobile quarterback in Chadwick, who doesn't necessarily have the top end throwing stats to match his mobility. And I think, some of not having somebody like that has made it tough for him. But he's lost a lot of close games, to be honest. He's also beaten a lot of people who are good, and I mean, he is good. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't think he's necessarily like in the upper crust, but any given day he definitely can beat you. I mean, his scheme is not, he runs a lot of things that you're gonna have to deal with, and especially when he's not turning the ball over, he can win some games. I mean, he beat me today in the league. I mean, I'm embarrassed to even say I lost to bro, but at the same time, he can really boogie if you let him get into his bag, and everyone matters. You know what I'm saying? 4-8 is a lot different than 2-10. Hopefully, he doesn't lose even a half a star this season. I mean, that's one of the main things you can gain from winning games, especially late in the season. Is I don't know if he's 4-star. He's probably a 4-star school, maybe even 4.5, because last year he was ranked in the top 10 for a little bit. So this is a big quality win, and hopefully he can maintain at 4 stars. I mean, dropping to 3.5 is a huge difference when you're trying to fight against schools with 5 stars. Recruiting the next year. So big win for him. Always got to have respect for Jay Roth in his game, and especially playing him at home. I mean, once again, I mean, the league is deep. Playing dudes on the road is no joke. You really got to be on your A game. So yeah, good for J Roth. I don't know what his full schedule was, but I'm sure if we go to it, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna have some quality wins like this one. I think he got you too, Terrell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you got me back.
It was another huge win. I mean, he's
it wasn't a huge one. I ain't had a win yet.
I think it's a huge win because at the end of the day, both of y'all would, if Texas A&M wins this game, he's in the conference championship for sure at 6-1. He would have been number 1 in the conference at 6-1. If you would have won this game, then that force sale against Oregon wouldn't have mattered as much, maybe, and it could have been a tiebreaker. So I mean, J Ross out here ruining seasons in the SEC, which you love to see it. So I'm sure he's happy about that, and good for him.
Yes, sir. Another big game, big conference game to finish up that we talked about last podcast. Notre Dame takes the L to Nebraska. Nebraska's undefeated in Big 12 play. Fryles, we know how you feel about the Golden Domers, the Fighting Irish. How does this set up Notre Dame for the playoffs? And do you think he really deserves to be there right now?
That's a difficult question. I think if you make it, you deserve it. So I'm gonna give him his props for that. Last year was computer heavy. I think this year he's actually had to win a good amount of user games. So I'm gonna give him his credit there. Should he have like a bye in the playoffs? I think like a road playoff game would make sense to me for where I view him personally league wise. Should have to go on the road, kind of get that out the mud. I think he's had a lot, not handed to him, but a lot of just fortunate things happen to have him have success. So I would love him to prove me wrong, go on the road in the playoffs and get that done. And I'm sure he'll be, that's going to be his goal too. So he probably don't care what I think, as he shouldn't. I mean, I'm just one person giving an opinion, but Nebraska's tough. I mean, we know at Nebraska is one of that short list of like 3 or 4 places that you went on the road at Nebraska. That's you're really doing something. So nothing to be ashamed about here. I think we were saying that Notre Dame is going to be probably missing. I mean, most likely. I never know, but most likely missing the conference championship, which is going to have him be in the playoff. So he'll get his chance, and he's probably going to get a home game too, at least one. So you get his chance.
Bag, talk to me about Nebraska, but quickly touch on Notre Dame, how you're feeling about them possibly being locked into the playoffs. with no conference game, and then how Nebraska's season has shaped up after them 2 early losses.
Yeah, well, first with Notre Dame, I mean, hats off to them. You know, I think he only had 2 CPU games this year. So, you know, he's having a good season. His 3 losses are to Nebraska, Ole Miss, and UCLA. None of those are bad losses. That UCLA user came midseason. He's pretty good. If UCLA can beat USC today, UCLA will end up in the conference championship game against Nebraska, and he gave Nebraska a good game last time, and this time it'll be on a neutral site. I can't remember if the first time they played was in UCLA or not, but yeah, you know, Notre Dame got a huge win over Ohio State that he needed last week to put a lot of pressure on Ohio State's situation. Do I think he has the resume to where he deserves to have a locked-in first-round bye? No, I think he's getting a little bit of luck there, luck of the Irish, as they say. But, you know, he's still going to have to prove it. I mean, he'll be on a neutral site. He'll play somebody good who won a playoff game before that. So, you know, it won't be any handouts here. You know, neutral site game, you know, really bring out the best out of both parties. So we'll see what he can do. Nebraska has just been himself, man. I mean, the dude's consistent. His blitzes, his pressure. In 25 and 26, he easily gets the most pressure, which is the first thing you got to deal with. And then on offense, he's slinging the ball around. I mean, Raiola's, you know, the best quarterback by overall in the league, and he's doing his thing there. I mean, he's going to be a tough out this season. I mean, I think he's gotten down a lot of different pressures that are going to be tough for dudes to deal with. And, you know, I mean, I give him a lot of praise every time. He's at the top of my power rankings. I think this is a ring season for bro, but you know, we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yes, sir. We will definitely have to see where these power rankings land him a little later, as well as Notre Dame, continuing to get quality wins. Moving on, Florida versus Ole Miss. Florida takes their first L since taking over versus Ole Miss. Conference championship preview for ACC. Bagward, tell me how you feel about Florida taking this L and then a possible rematch coming up for the ACC.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's been playing good ball recently. A few other leagues we're in. He won a natty in one of them. So, you know, he's playing solid football. I mean, this is a huge, impressive win for Ole Miss to go on the road and beat Florida in the swamp when they're ranked in the top. I think at the time it was ranked number 2. So I know that stadium was probably number 1. Probably couldn't make no hot routes, no nothing. Still came in there, got the W. So giving Ole Miss all the credit there. You know what I mean? He's really doing his thing. In terms of the rematch, it'll be another great game. I think I'm gonna take Florida in that on a neutral site. Ole Miss can't really do this only, you know, on the road, but you know, Florida's seen him one time now. He's been winning a lot of big games recently across other leagues, so I think he does it again. But it's gonna be a really good game, and really is a toss-up, I think. So I'll be locked in for that for sure. Anybody here?
I'm here. I was waiting on Terrell, but he might have stepped away for a second. But
oh yeah, he might have stepped away.
Following up on that though. Yeah, really winning for Ole Miss. And yeah, that rematch should go crazy.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. I mean, while we're here on this
stop yelling. I need
screen,
you quiet.
Washington was able to get a pretty big win. He's a good user, and
Miles,
you know
let
that
the dogs
Colorado
out.
user is new. In fact, the Colorado put up a pretty good fight.
Quickly.
Speaks to Colorado being decent. We'll see how he kind of shakes out. Being in the
He
league.
did this week, but you know, nothing against bro. But I don't know what happened against Oregon.
Quiet, Miles.
Oregon.
Open the door.
Oregon put up like 70 on them. So I don't know if it's one of those games or what. But
Oh Lord! Oh my goodness!
I think this week I saw the score and I was like,
Go take
is
your
that
shoes off. Go potty.
is that a computer? Like what happened there?
Stop doing that.
So
Go
I
take
don't
your
know.
shoes off.
It might have been one of those just
Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, it didn't even get played. That was a sim. So yeah, let me take that
put
back
up-
about Colorado.
this game was a sim.
This game was a sim. This game was a
Oh,
sim.
okay.
That's why I was so close.
He might be solid, but I know this week, bro gave up like 70 from what I was seeing. So, hey,
Yeah, 70 is
kinda tough.
crazy. I mean, look, Depot's a decent player, but bro, 70? Nah, gee, that's actually insane. Our boy Georgia up there got a big win against Penn State. Clapped him up. That's the Georgia we know and love. I don't know what he finished the year at. Maybe that might be his third win of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia might lose a star. He might be like 3 and he's gonna finish year 5 and 7. Shout out to him because he was 0 and 5
fought.
at one point.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he grinded back. So good for him. I mean, he yeah, that's a solid way to finish the season. Georgia.
Yeah, the lost season to get still 5 and played spoiler in like a few of those games too. Like,
He should have got Ole Miss. You know, he should have got Ole Miss. He gave that game away. He should have got LSU too. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? So, way to go. Shout out Georgia.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you holding it down. Let's get to
Mm-hmm.
this. Ole Miss versus. Oh, we just talked about that. Where is it? Actually, that'll be it for week 11. Move on to week 12 for Oklahoma and Notre Dame. No, sorry. Oh, it's Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Ohio State dropped this one on the road to Notre Dame. Quality win, quality opponent. Conference standings are big for this one. All 3 of Ohio State's losses came in conference. And this probably vaulted Notre Dame back up to where they needed to be. I think he was 10, and the other one was 4, and they essentially swapped spots. Faraz, how do you feel about Notre Dame being one of the premier users right now?
I would use those words, but shout out Notre Dame for this win. Premier users, I'm just kidding. But this is a real good win, man. Ohio State is tough. It's definitely tough. So quality win for him. Probably needed it too, because I think I don't know if it was week 10 or week whatever we're looking at just now, but he came off a loss, so to bounce back and get that done, back slightly against the wall. That's what's up. So, yeah, I think that's why I wouldn't say that I'm hard. Maybe I am hard on him. I don't know, but I think these kind of wins are more what I not expect, but like for me to put him in that next level, like more of these kind of wins would go a long way. So this is a good win for Notre Dame for sure, man.
Gotcha. Looking forward. Ohio State might slide into the playoffs, but with a road game. Fabric, how do you feel about Ohio State possibly getting into the playoffs as a road game in Notre Dame, possibly getting an first round bye with no conference championship, seeing how the rankings are stacking up?
Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame situation we covered. I think, we'll see who he gets in that first round. He's going to get a bye almost certainly. So, we'll see who he matches up with. But Ohio State, I would hate to get it to earn a first round home game, and this is who's waiting for you. You gotta welcome Ohio State in there. He's got endless speed, won a natty last year.
Would you go potty like I asked you to?
2 players in the top 5 for the Heisman. I mean, he's playing good ball. And it'll be a must-win situation for him. He's played in plenty of high-pressure games, so the playoffs are going to be very interesting this year. But he's probably going to be the toughest road opponent. So hopefully his first-round game is against somebody good. That'll be must-see TV.
And then the other big game we needed to cover for week 12. And where is it? I passed the Ole Miss FSU game up, you know.
I guess it's down.
Oh, there it is. Ole Miss switching over from SMU, bringing some more competition to the conference. Finally got a quality stadium and a quality roster, and it shows what he can do. I know it was a close game versus Texas, I believe, the week before. Was able to pull out a big conference win at home. Talk about the upgrades he was able to get and the quality of his team moving forward. Backward.
Oh, Mike, can we go to his roster?
Yeah.
First, you could just like see the overall of his SMU team because it was bad. I mean, he for sure went up a lot.
Here's the initial SMU roster.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got 3 cornerbacks at 88 overall boosted higher, and he's got 5 cornerbacks who are in his top 6 players. I mean, can we just go to his quarterback? Who's his quarterback over there? Yeah, so I mean, his team was bad. We don't have to go through this whole roster, but I mean, he had an okay secondary by league standards, maybe above average secondary, but the rest of his team was bad. Now, if we slide over to FSU, going from an 87 overall, he now is, I believe, in the 90s, which is going to be a scary sight for everybody come next year. Yeah, he's a 91, and I mean, look at his roster. He has, these top 2 quarterbacks are leaving, but that dude Kinsey, Sperry, Jackson over there at quarterback are all going to be. I'm pretty sure I was looking at this before. One of these quarterbacks is super legit. I mean, this season's over with. You know what I'm saying? And he might lose a star. He might even go down to 3 stars with only 2 wins. But
McIntyre looks 95 throw power. What's up with him?
Yeah, one more down. Impact Dev 6'6" though. I mean, he can throw it. Yeah,
yes, that's kind of surprising.
He might be a problem. Definitely could be good. So yeah, he's got quarterbacks. He's got, his team's kind of young. I mean, that quarterback right there, Kinsey's only a redshirt sophomore. He's already like an 84. He'll be high 80s next year with some mobility. I'd say that's probably likely the starter. Pure runner. I mean, that's his bag right there. He'll have a year in the portal too. He's in the. Yeah, what a name. But he's in Florida, so he'll be able to recruit. He probably should get some guys in the portal. So I don't know if he has any other players who really stand out. I think he has a running back who's pretty good, who's like a true freshman. Who he should be, excited about. I think it might be this guy. But yeah, he's got a way better roster now. Still has to build, but he's gonna be a threat next year, man. And you saw what he can do. Miss, who we've been talking about this whole time, is having a great season. And beats him pretty handily. So, whoever ends up getting him off the randomizer in the conference next year, be on high alert when you got to play him, especially if you got to go to Doak Campbell.
Yes, sir. Files, how do you feel about the SMU user showing what they could do? They've been. Is that Cole Taylor? Is that who that is?
Yeah. One and only.
Oh man, a pleasure and a joy to watch on the stream, especially the way he talks. Yeah. Talk to me about how he's essentially real life to the game, looking to change that program around. Now that he has some quality pieces and some better recruiting lines, how do you think that moves for him moving forward?
I think it's huge. The past games, I think we already talked about, but he was, last year, I should say, but he's already shown he can compete with the best, and even this year with a questionable at best team, I mean, he competes for the most part. He wins a good amount of games. So Florida State, you can get some talent down to Florida State. I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting a playoff appearance next year for him. That's what I'm expecting. 1 year in, actually, that might be crazy.
Whoa!
But I think he'll be better at SMU. That's what I'll say. I think he'll be a lot better.
You can stand on that.
I just don't know what his roster going to shape up to be and how it's going to turn over. So I can't say that yet, but we'll circle back once we see kind of how next year's roster is.
Gotcha. So, after seeing that, I don't believe there are any major matchups in Week 13 except we were talking about it. USC versus UCLA rivalry matchup if it gets played. Bagward talked to me about how UCLA could play spoiler and end up in the conference championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, if, you know, and UCLA's been playing great ball and, you know, USC has not, and UCLA's at home in this game. But if UCLA can win this game, they'll make the conference championship. And they'll play Nebraska, who, you know, they put up a good game against them last time. I mean, I still think Nebraska wins that game, clearly. But yeah, a lot rides on this game. They have to win this game to do that. If they don't win this game, it actually shakes things up even more because at that point, their season's over. They don't make a bowl game. Talking about UCLA. USC needs this win badly because, I mean, at least at 3 wins, hopefully it doesn't lose any stars or anything. Maybe. But at 2 wins, you're absolutely losing stars. But if he doesn't win, then Notre Dame will make the conference championship. And then the loser of that game is probably not going to get a bye in the playoffs. So, you know, a lot is weighing on this game. This game is a huge one. It's supposed to be played tonight, somewhat late, I believe. So we'll see how it shakes out. Do you mind going to UCLA's conference, or not conference, team schedule? Appreciate that. Yeah, so you see he was on the road at Nebraska, lost by 11. We go to the stats for that game. He was playing good ball, man, on the road. So I mean, if he wins that, he'll be on a neutral site. I mean, you see, he put up 400 yards. Can we go down to turnovers? Seems like Nebraska got a big lead early though at the end of the day, but no turnovers. Put a clean game with all that pressure Nebraska brings with the roster he has. If he can, put together a game like that again with no turnovers, I mean, that's how you beat Nebraska right there. So that'll be an interesting rematch if that does happen. So yeah, we'll see how that game shakes out later today.
You said if it gets played, that's got to get played. I don't know. Well, one way or another, the game's got to get played. At this point, we already waited, so they're getting that in.
Yeah, it's mostly on USC. USC's been putting a lot of games off recently, so hopefully they get that in. They got a schedule for tonight, I think at like 9 Eastern, something like that.
All right, man. I hope so.
All right, let's go. Quickly take a look through the standings. SEC, Tennessee at number 1, Clemson at number 2 with both 5-2. A&M losing the tiebreaker right now at 5-2 as well. And then Michigan, Oregon, Miami, Washington all kind of rounded out. Oregon got a couple late wins to end up at 7, but as you can see, this conference kind of chewed on its own tail. Frowls, tell me how you feel about this conference and just the overall strength of schedule, especially for conference play.
It was tough, man. I think everybody, like tier-wise, everybody beat like everybody. You can't even really separate too much. I think Colorado, we were saying you might have stepped away, but I think they might be having a bit of a rough time. But everybody else, really no super cakewalks. Jay Roth, when his head is straight, definitely can give you a game. Oregon, I barely beat Oregon myself, and I've seen him beat other people. He's put up 70 on Colorado. Like he's good. You beat the top 3 in the conference, right? I mean, Michigan, as I'm saying to clarify, but yeah, it's just tough, man. I'm happy to be in the conference championship, even though it might be the reason I don't make the playoffs. it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I think we came in saying it was going to be competitive, but even within that, it was like a different type of competitiveness. Maybe some teams we weren't expecting. Really, I would say Michigan. Really, I think you kind of showed out in the middle of the year. The point where dudes just were not looking to have you on their schedule. You was in that mode, so you still ended up fourth in the conference, which just speaks to the conference depth. So I'm happy for all of us, man. We showed out. Showed out.
Sir. SEC looked like the SEC. No matter what teams were in there, bad word. Biggest surprises of the SEC, biggest disappointment in the SEC.
I think for me, the biggest surprise in the SEC has got to be Washington holding it down, going 5-1 at home. I mean, shout out to them. They probably have the lowest overall. The only team that maybe has a lower overall is Colorado, but they got a lot of big wins at home. They also got a Texas win this year. So
Have what?
wait, actually, I don't know. Maybe they didn't get a Texas win because
No.
how would you go 5-1 at home? Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they got a Texas win. So, yeah, there go right there. You know what I mean? So, the only person who went in there and got a win was Clemson. Came in there and handled business. But I mean, look at his schedule. His schedule's tough, man. I mean, Oklahoma for out of conference on the road, barely lost that game. He got some thrashings in conference for sure. Oregon got him pretty good on the road. Texas A&M got a big win against him on the road, but overall, good season. Got Miami, when it mattered. End of the year, they both were kind of in a rhythm. So I think he's the biggest surprise, and I look forward to seeing what he does with that team. Biggest disappointment's got to go to Jay Roth. I mean, last year being in the top 10 most of the year in general. I think he ended up maybe missing the playoffs last year. I don't know if he got in or not. Can't recall. But he was in the top 10 all year, and I think he lost 2 games at the end of the year. He might have even been in the top 5 at one point last season to then turn around and go 4-8. Maybe we can check out his schedule too. I mean, to go 4-8 is definitely got to be the worst one. 1-6 on the road for the season. I mean, that's tough. He had a very hard schedule, but Ohio State, we expect that loss. TCU 6-5 to finish the year. That's a tough loss. Texas was beating him pretty good. He made a comeback right there. On the road to Texas isn't easy, so he had a hard schedule. Tennessee, expect him to lose, but don't have to be that bad. Clemson also thrashed him. He sneaks by with a couple wins here in the middle of the season. I think that Florida State win, maybe they played. That was before the new user got there, but that user took 4 sales almost all year. Not an ideal situation. He definitely is better than 4-8. So hopefully, I don't think he will actually. Certainly, probably won't be 4.5 stars next year after a 4-8 season. But that's how it goes.
Yes, sir. If the conference championship, and I'll let Frowls talk on the next conference. If the conference championship ends up Tennessee-Clemson, who would you like to see get the conference championship, and then the implications for the loser for essentially doing what you're supposed to do at both of them being 9-3, and we don't know what the rankings will do if they both lose, if they don't move up this week.
Also, I want to throw this in. Clemson definitely deserves credit for being the biggest surprise. I mean, I don't want to say surprise because he was very good all 25. One of the best users in the league, but the first 2 years of this dynasty, he was, I think, slightly above 500, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely not in the playoffs. So to come in this year and have big wins against, huge wins against Tennessee, huge win against Tennessee, and be ranked in the top 10. Definitely got to shout out him for another, semi surprise. But glad that he's kind of got things rolling. Who do I want to see win? I want Clemson to win because it's always good for the league when things are shaking up a little bit. And Clemson's beat Tennessee the last 2 times they've played at least. With that Clemson team, Clemson and Tennessee, there'll be a lot on the line here. Both teams are going to really want to win. I don't want to call who's going to win that game, but I'm going to go with Tennessee winning 5 straight. And, he's got a lot of vendetta, so to say, with Clemson. And Tennessee also for sure is not going to get in the playoffs if he loses that game. So I think he's going to bring his best, but his best hasn't been good enough the last 2 times, so we'll see.
All right, love to hear it. Love to hear it. Moving on to the Big Ten. LSU, number 1, undefeated in conference play. Oklahoma 6-1 in conference play. Auburn rounding out the top 3, I believe, as we expected, and then Alabama losing late, especially in conference, ending up at 3-3. I believe there is a forced loss in there as well. Fryles, how do you feel about the Big Ten conference? Are we surprised, or did this end up as expected? What are you eating?
I think we had a bit of a surprise, and Auburn for a second there was making a real push, but from the start, I think we expected LSU and Oklahoma to hold that down. Just a mix of their rosters and how they've been playing ball. It's just
dancing, chucking and jiving.
That's what I expected. That rematch is about to go insane. Should be a great matchup. They play like once a week anyway, just across their league. So it's one of those, like, who's gonna be better that day. You get that done on a neutral site is always it's always fun. Otherwise in the conference though, I think Wisconsin, I'm a little surprised, 2-5 in conference. Just from like watching Wisconsin play and playing against them, I would think he'd be in the top half of this conference, but couldn't get it done. I know team matters. I think Wisconsin is like an okay team overall wise, so I'm expecting a better season for him next year. Bama did have a forced loss, like you mentioned, so I'll give him a bit of a break there. But it was always going to be tough to unseat either of those top 2, man. And LSU going, well, I guess he has to play today, but I was going to say going undefeated in this conference is it's tough in any conference.
No juju, bro. We don't need that, dog.
I'm not saying that at all, but if like Vegas has you favored probably about like at least 17.5, I'll give you like 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So it'd be surprising if you lost that at home, but it could happen. Even if you do, still in the conference championship though. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a battle for that title.
Man, you ran the conference going 6-0. It's almost ran the table going 10-1 on your overall record. Talk to me about, essentially after this game, not having home field advantage behind you. The perks of winning almost seem like a negative at this point, seeing that the home team won't be able to be there to support you as far as home field advantage. How do you feel about that?
Having to go on a neutral site?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, man. I mean, I think I beat Zev. I beat Oklahoma at home this year. So, it's always a different beast when he can call his hot routes and all his audibles. Have nothing holding that back. And going 6-0 in conference, potentially 7-0 will all be for nothing with no hardware by the name. So, it definitely is going to be a big time challenge, man, and we'll see if we can rise to the occasion.
Yes, sir. Moving on to the Big 12. Nebraska, Notre Dame, UCLA. Fries, if UCLA happens to get the dub and ends up with Nebraska in the championship neutral site, do you think is there a real possibility we see UCLA get a conference championship one?
Keeping in mind that anything is possible, I'm gonna say no. I think it'd be one of the biggest probably the biggest upset in the history of the league.
No.
That's almost in a conference champion in that big of a game at least.
Stop yelling.
Regular season, yeah, you might get somebody, but neutral site conference championship, I would actually be shocked if he got that done. But we just looked at that first game he played him. I mean, looked like a pretty close game. He kept the turnovers down, so in his head, I'm sure he has a formula of how he's going to do it. It's just we've just seen Nebraska time and time again just perform the highest level. So that's kind of what I would expect. Personally, I would like to see. I think UCLA is probably going to get that win over USC. I don't know, but if Nebraska and Notre Dame played, I would love to see that, because it's another chance for Notre Dame to kind of prove that he does belong in those convos. I think the result would be the same, but I would like to see it mainly for my narratives and stuff. But hey, it's all good.
Yes, sir.
So no, a long-winded way of saying no, I don't see it.
Bagwork, how do you feel about Notre Dame possibly just getting that early playoff bid, and then do you think he could make a run, win more than 2 games in the playoffs?
If he wins 2 games in the playoffs, given that he's going to get a bye, he'd be in the championship. So I say no there. I think he runs into somebody who he runs into a buzzsaw at some point. Even with the bye, man, it's gonna be interesting. I wonder who he matches. I think it's, I don't think he's won a playoff game yet this year in this dynasty. I could be mistaken, but that'll be a big game. It'll be a tough matchup whoever he plays in that quarterfinal game. So that'll speak volumes to where he's at, in this league, if he can win that quarterfinal game or not. Whoever it's against, assuming that UCLA beats USC. If they don't, then all bets are off, and it'll be a totally different outlook for him going into the playoffs potentially. But yeah, if things go how I think they'll go, and he gets that first round bye, man, there's a lot of dudes who are going to be playing in that first round who are tough this year. So we'll see how he does. For example, you can get a rematch against Ohio State. Ohio State will likely be playing in the first round. If Ole Miss can win their conference, they'll end up being in the first round probably. If that also happened, that would mean Florida was in the first round. The loser of the Big Ten championship between me and Oklahoma will probably be in the first. So he's not going to have any easy outs when it comes playoff time. So if he can win a game, let alone make a run, that would speak volumes.
Yes, sir. Little shocker, and I know this might be looking a little forward ahead. Can you imagine Ohio State finally not having to be in a conference with Nebraska, but all of a sudden joining the SEC with Tennessee, Clemson, since they're locked, and then Ohio State? How much fun that would be.
Man, it's great. That's why I kind of like the format we have, because when someone falls out of favor and they got to go to that other conference, that conference is going to be a meat grinder the next year. We'll see where a lot of the chips fall. The SEC will get broken up a little bit, right? So a lot of those guys will go somewhere, but Ohio State, obviously, he's won a natty, can win any conference he goes into. So, and potentially could be the favorite in a lot of conferences he goes to. So be interesting. That's it almost happened in Tennessee too this year, but he's going to end up sneaking back into that conference championship game. But yeah, Ohio State moving around is going to be a spooky sight. Nobody wants to see that.
Yes, sir. Bagwork, talk to me about the ACC. Ole Miss and Florida essentially winning out as soon as they take over the new teams and then running the conference. Are we a little shocked that Texas is where Texas is?
No, I'm not really shocked Texas is where they're at. I think he wins a lot of games. He's a good player. It's just about, but getting to a conference championship is always tough. And, I think he's lost the games that we expected him to lose. I think he lost to Florida and Ole Miss and Baylor, right? So he lost the other top 4 teams in there. Those are the games that were debatable, but he won. On the other hand, he wins the games that he's supposed to win. So yeah, like his loss this year to Oklahoma, who went to the national championship last year. Washington is having a great season. That's one of those games where he maybe could have won, but it's on the road. Georgia, once again, a game that you might think he should win, but he's been playing great ball starting from this game. I think that was Georgia's first win of the season. And those are both really tough road games. But the games that he's supposed to win, he's winning. At home against Florida State, with the new user, is a big time win. He beat Penn State on the road as he should. He beat Coach Carver. So he's winning the game he's supposed to win. It's just these other games that are, at home against Baylor, you would hope he wins, but, Baylor's been playing good ball, and, those tough ones that can go 50-50, a lot of those didn't go his way this year. He's about where I thought he would be.
Trials, who would be the biggest surprise in this conference?
Early on I would have said it looked like it was going to be Baylor. I think early on we were talking about Baylor because they just, offenses operate at a high level, look pretty good, and they kind of got to take a bit of a schedule reality check, came back to earth. Surprised though, I think I got to shout out again, Ole Miss and Florida. I mean, joining any kind of league and a team you're not familiar with, coming in and just balling in a conference with Texas 99 overall, Georgia 99 overall. That's impressive. That's impressive, man. They should be proud of that, and they get to play again. And I guess how that one is, I was gonna say loser might be out, but Florida has a chance to still be in. Ole Miss is unranked. I don't know. That's gonna be tough, but either way, they got a chance to play for a conference championship. Georgia's. I was gonna talk about Georgia because he's somebody who I think can beat most of the league. It's just his peaks and valleys are so drastic. Just like the consistency's not always there. We just talked about him playing spoiler for how many teams. So he just was playing spoiler. He was 0-5 at one point, I think. So to fight back to get to 5 wins still is good. But you would expect the Georgias and Texases to be playing for conference championships just based on their roster alone. You kind of just gotta steer the boat a little bit. Nothing crazy, just keep it straight. And they weren't able to do that this year.
Yes, sir. Bad word.
Just that. Oh, my fault. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Because I had a quick question on Georgia. Because you say he's playing spoiler. Both of you say he can play spoiler, and it's just he doesn't always play up to his potential. Would we say that him being Georgia, having the 99 overall team, plays a factor into him possibly playing spoiler and kind of covering up his mistakes as a user?
My opinion on that is absolutely. I mean, I think if he had a different roster, he'd have to play a different way. I think his stadium and his team definitely helps him a lot. With that being said, he is a good user, man. It's just in terms of he can run the ball well. He can make reads and develop plays with different route concepts and make reads at a pretty good clip. He runs a lot of match coverage and he knows what he's doing in there, which you can't say for everybody. So he has all the pieces. I mean, for me, the things that tear him apart are mostly game management. I mean, when to when the game is tight, making good decisions, calling the good plays. I think a lot of times he calls bad plays for certain situations. I think he goes for it on 4th down way too much when he doesn't need to. I think he just gambles too much, and that costs him. And I think that's the main issue, more so than like understanding of the game. It's more so his game management. I'll go back to when he played against me. I mean, he's down by 3 at the 15-yard line, can easily just go to overtime. He calls a play, scrambles around for 7 seconds, and throws out of bounds and loses the game with no field goal getting off. I mean, it's like absurd. You know what I mean? Like, to lose a game like that, and he loses a lot of games under similar pretenses. So, I think that's the main issue. And of course, having one of the best teams and rosters in the game is going to cover up your mistakes. But I think he could, that all being said, I think he could go 5-7 with most teams in this league. But I don't know if his game management skills will ever allow him to be 9-3 with any team.
Wow. Okay. Let's roll over.
Oh, but so, my bad. I just want to say one more thing about that conference. We had said before the season that this was easily the worst conference, the ACC, especially with Okenzo, who's been a cornerstone of the league for such a long time, being in that conference and leaving preseason.
Right.
But if we restarted this conference 0-0 and we kept the same conference for year 4, they're on par with every other conference, and there's so much intrigue. I mean, Ole Miss has shown that he's can be a very good user. Florida, as I'm saying, has been in other leagues and winning national championships, beat Nebraska this year. Texas is always going to be solid. You know what I mean? Baylor's playing some of the best ball he's played this whole time. Georgia, as I just said, has the potential to, has all the skills to win any game, especially with that roster. Plus, you add in Florida State over there into that mix. I mean, that's now on par with a lot of conferences, I think. So.
Frowns, I have a question about that. He said if we restarted 0-0, after we said this might be the weakest conference, things might be different. In my opinion, it would look the exact same. You said Georgia, it's not a team thing. It's a game management thing. Baylor is still number 7, finishing 9-3. Texas is where Texas is. Florida, minus a few hiccups here and there earlier in the season, about where Florida would be anyways. And then Ole Miss. Do you really think, Krause, that this conference would end up any different than essentially what it is right now?
I don't know that it would necessarily shake out differently in terms of the standings, but I think the outlook on it, I do give a little bit more, because we didn't know about Ole Miss and Florida coming in. So I think in general, I regard it a little bit better. I think it would have ended, Ole Miss and Florida, to me, just watching them play, seemed like the best two in the conference. Adding Florida State just makes it a stronger conference too. So I agree with Bag in the sense that, I don't think they're weaker than, drastically weaker, I should say, than other conferences. But I think, the top two to me are probably the top 2 users in the league right now in terms of playing the game. So I don't think it would have ended up differently necessarily.
Yes, sir. Moving on to the top 25, and this is kind of where we get into the most controversial topic in all college football, 26 power rankings. We've had some movers, some shakers. We've got all users right now in the top 9, essentially. And then nobody else. Bad work. Let's start it off. S tier. You know the rules. Only 4 can make it. Who you got in the S tier this week?
Oh, we doing it by S tier? Hold on, let me take a quick look at what I said last week. Before I adjust this. If I'm going with the S tier situation, I'm gonna just still put Nebraska as number 1 in the S tier. I'll put myself as 2 and Oklahoma as 3, and that's it for the S tier. And I'm just gonna leave it at 3. And maybe I'll put an extra spot in the A tier. I don't think anybody has shown that they should climb up to the S tier yet. But I'll just take Ohio State out of it after his Notre Dame loss.
Okay. Whoa. Big. Dropping. He said we don't even need the mandatory 4 spots. Frowls, talk to me. S tier. Who are you putting? Do you even have 4 in your S tier right now?
I do have 4 of my S tiers because I'm considering right now, but also what I think that they can get to as far as level. So a mix of those two. So LSU is in my S tier. I think they're playing he's playing too high level of ball right now to not be. Zevi, same thing. Is always consistently high level. Got the roster to match to. Nebraska is playing like Nebraska. We always expect. Those 3 are definitely in there for me. and it's not because I'm playing this week and trying to get some good favor, but Tennessee. I think Tennessee still they've won 5 in a row, playing good ball recently after that slide. It seems like he got back to playing his variety of ball, and given his track record of winning things in the league and consistently being up there, I'm putting them in there as my 4th spot in the S tier personally.
All right, since you got Tennessee rounding out your top 4 in the S tier, moving on to the A. Who do you have starting off with the A tier for your teams?
I'm still gonna give Ohio State. I know he's been struggling. I'm still giving him his credit for coming off the Natty with his roster. He's still someone who nobody's gonna want to play playoff time, especially with how he plays. So I'm putting him at the top of the A tier. Following that up with this is tough. I personally feel like myself. I think I played solid ball most of the year. I would put myself there if I had to. And then I'm going to follow that up with Notre Dame. He kind of righted the ship a little bit. He won what he's supposed to win. And if I had to put somebody else in there, just out of these, I would say, man, Ole Miss is unranked, right? We can't put Ole Miss in there.
Nope, top 25.
Auburn, I might have.
For top 25? Oh yeah, that's new for
yeah.
this week, I think.
Yeah, we gotta keep it top 25 because everybody else fell out. So
Yeah,
we can visit it next
I kind of like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Man, I can't say Baylor right now. I would have to.
You don't have to finish out A. You can pull a bag and say the rest of them got to fall and be somewhere. Because I don't even think we have a full 12. No, we don't.
We have 11, right, or something. 10,
Yeah.
maybe.
We can just be top 10 this week.
I think I'm gonna stick with 3 there because. What did I say? I said Ohio State,
Ohio
me,
State, Clemson,
and
and then Notre Dame for A.
Notre Dame. You know, I'm gonna get Florida. I'm gonna get Florida in there too. I'm gonna slide Florida in there. I think he's been playing pretty good ball. I'll put him at the bottom of that tier in the borderline, but I'm gonna give him the benefit.
All right, bad work. Who you got rounding out A? I know I switched it up on you, but yeah, we don't say in order to make this list, and it'll probably be a lot easier earlier in the season, but got to be on the top 25. Bag. Who you got in your A tier?
The A tier for me, I've been sitting over here kind of putting together while y'all were discussing yours. For me, I'm gonna go. So just to remind y'all, my S tier, I'm going Nebraska, LSU, Oklahoma, and then in the A tier, number 1 in the A tier, I'm going with Ohio State. Still, just fell out of the S tier. Tough road loss to Notre Dame. I mean, playing on the road is always tough. I don't think I can really take too many points away from him for that. I mean, besides that, he's been having a great season. I think he's got 2 other losses actually, but one of them is in Nebraska. And I don't even know who his 3rd loss is, but he's coming off a natty. He has a great roster. He's been having a pretty good season, so I'm still gonna put him at the top of the A tier. And then, who is his 3rd loss? North Carolina always every year has this game where he just like beat somebody that you might not think he should. Like last year he beat Zev, and he's a good user. So I mean, yeah, he got trapped right there for sure. 1 L there. Nebraska got him pretty good at home, and then on the road against Notre Dame. Yeah, so I'm still putting him at the top of my A tier. 2nd in the A tier, I'm going with Clemson. He's been having a great year. Beat a lot of quality teams. He's been doing his thing. He's been solid. So yeah, I got him right there. 2nd, 3rd, I'm gonna slide Notre Dame up out of the B tier. I had him top of the B tier last year with a huge win at home against Ohio State, who likes to call himself Thanos or whatever. After that win, I got him at 3rd in the A tier now. 1 slot ahead of Tennessee, who is sliding back up, and easily has played at S tier level most of his time here, but he had 3 tough losses, and he's beat Texas A&M since then, but I don't know if he's gotten any quality wins besides Texas A&M since that 3-game skid. So that would be my 4th in the A tier, and my 5th would be Florida. He's just been playing solid ball. I think he might have lost this week to Florida State, or did he end up winning that game versus Florida State? I think Florida State got him, right? Am I
Yeah,
not
he
sure?
lost to Florida State.
He lost to Florida State, yeah. So, I had him, near the top of the, No, he beat Florida.
State.
yeah. So that's another good win for him. You know what I'm saying? I had him near the top of the A tier, but still sliding him down a little bit after that Ole Miss loss by 2 scores at home. So we'll see how he acts in the conference championship, but that's my A tier right there.
And then we'll stay with you. Talk to me about your last tier, your B tier.
B tier. First in the B tier has got to be Baylor. They've been playing pretty solid ball all year. And I don't really think that changes. They're going to get into the playoffs. They're going to maybe have a home game, and that's going to be tough for anybody who's going to put up a lot of points, most likely. You have to match that with limited audibles and whatnot. So that should be exciting. Second on that list, I'm going to go Auburn. He doesn't really have any really big wins or quality wins. I'm not sure. Could you maybe check his schedule for me, please? I know he got a forced win. He ended up getting a forced win last week. But you see Texas A&M beat him by 3 scores. LSU beat him by more than 3 scores. Oklahoma beat him by 10. He's going to finish out with two forced wins. But, he beat Wisconsin on the road. That's a good win. TCU on the road. Georgia on the road is a good win. So he has some, he's kind of a little bit above the average, but he still hasn't gotten any, big wins yet. So, I'm gonna put him in there at the second for my B tier. Third for my B tier. Oh, matter of fact, I take all of that back. Well, I'll just say this: second for my B tier is actually going to be Ole Miss. They've been playing really good ball. I think they took a loss.
You can't make it.
Oh, they can't make the list at all. I thought you were saying for the A tier.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't make the top 25, I was saying you got to drop off this week.
Okay, so then I don't have nobody else to put on, really. I don't think.
That'd be it. It's only 10 teams this week.
Yeah, so
I like
that is that.
It's kind of condensed, so I like the, they got to be ranked to get ranked by them to get ranked by us. I like that.
Yeah, so then that's that.
Fries, do you have anybody? Yeah, you got left. So what's your order for B tier? I think you only got one.
I got 2 left. If we're going off just form, I guess Baylor. I don't really have a huge. It's Baylor and Auburn left, so I can't really say I have a strong lean either way. We just went through Auburn's schedule. Didn't really see any crazy wins off the top of my head. I think Baylor has maybe one quality win we can look at and be like, okay.
Whoa.
I mean,
wait a minute. Can we revisit this? Because we got Alabama. Was this the new user, Florida?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely should have been week 6. Week 6, yep.
Are we saying Baylor has one quality win on the season? Minus Alabama?
Texas is a quality win. I'll say they beat
lost to
Texas,
Texas.
right? Oh no, they lost to Texas. They lost to Texas.
Oregon's a
Lost
quality
to
win, I think.
Texas. That was a force win.
Oh, never mind. Then yeah.
Yeah, he really only got Alabama.
Do we add a C tier?
Put myself down. I mean, look at it. I didn't realize the schedule
Auburn's
was
the
like this,
same.
really.
Auburn's the same way though. They don't got no.
Yeah.
Real,
I'm gonna put both of them. I don't have any preference, but I would put both of them in their own little tier. You can call it B or C, whatever. I don't know which one you want to call it, but they're in the same tier for me.
Okay, let's just do a quick look. I'm gonna force somebody's hand here. Who's the Auburn's best win? Who would you say Auburn's best win is?
mean, that big win against Wisconsin, I'll probably give him that just because he won by so much.
Yeah, Wisconsin's not really record-wise. I mean, his best win.
Well, he beat Cole on the road too with you know, SM. I mean, he beat SM. You know, it's a good user, bad team, good user. Beat him too, but Wisconsin's a good user, and he beat him 49-7. So I would say that's for me his best one.
Okay, Wisconsin is his best one. And we're just talking facts here. Your best win is a 5-16. Do we put you in B tier, or do we just say you're C tier? Because when it really mattered, who did
My thing is, I mean, I'm still putting on B. I just, what's the point of making a C tier if there's nobody in B tier?
Because we didn't have a user to fill B tier.
I mean, personally, I'm going to leave him in B tier. I think I could easily make the argument for him to not be in but there's only 10 teams ranked, so he's in there. But I mean, Ole Miss isn't ranked, and I would put him above both of these users. So there's that.
And that's kind of my thing. If you would rather put Ole Miss above Auburn and Baylor, do they really deserve to be in the same tier?
I mean, no, but it's only because of the rules. I mean, if the rules were different, like they would, you know, I would still have them in the B tier. They'd just be at the bottom of the B tier. Personally,
make some sense of this.
I mean,
are we putting them in B tier, or are we just gonna leave B tier blank and then throw them in C tier?
I think if we're putting them in B tier, it's kind of, we're only doing it just because, like, you know, just kind of how it shook out. I don't think anyone's made an argument to say that, yeah, these teams, you know, can compete with the teams above. We think they're knocking on that door of A tier. So I would say they're probably closer to C than they are to A. If you ask me, but
I think Texas A&M and Ole Miss beats both. Well, actually, I don't want to speak on Baylor because I think Baylor actually could beat both those users. Auburn hasn't really shown me anything to where he would beat. I think has a chance against either one of them personally, but
like every time you make an argument, you're making me want to say put him in C tier because every time you're like, yeah, but this too, this too.
I mean, Texas A&M. I'm taking Texas A&M. I'm taking Ole Miss over both of them for sure. I think Baylor can give Texas A&M a good game, for sure.
Like, just for
I don't know if Auburn gives any of them a good team.
They played a neutral site against like Alabama. Are we feeling strongly about them winning, or what do we think the outcome's going to be?
I think Baylor wins.
You think Baylor comfortably wins though? Like you put money on that, or you're just like, I could go either way?
I mean, we feel differently about Alabama's game, but I think the only reason why that game is close is because of Alabama's line being so dominant to Baylor's.
Okay. Well,
I mean, they beat Alabama. They beat Alabama this year already. We already see it. I mean, he won against Alabama, so.
No, watch this.
But I think that game's only close because of Alabama's line dominance. I think the skill, or at least I don't want to say skill because Alabama is pretty good at running the ball, but the passing skill, which is what I think you need to win any big game, most big games, especially like in the playoffs, you're going to need to be able to throw the football. Baylor has that over anybody else who's. I feel like Baylor's almost closer to being in the A tier for me than he would be to being at some like C level. But I would definitely say that I would be adding Ole Miss and Texas A&M, and I think I would put Baylor still above Texas A&M. But Ole Miss would be above Baylor. But I think it'll be if I can include like 4 teams in there, I think I would put Ole Miss, Baylor, Texas A&M, and then Auburn still at the bottom, getting mentioned because he's ranked so high.
Final standings, Riles. Do you have a B tier?
I'm gonna say no. I don't think I have one.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say there's a clear top 8, and then after that, I think you can group a lot of dudes in that mix, kind of like we were just saying. Like, I don't really know that he's better than A&M. I don't know if they're better than Ole Miss. So to me, that makes me say, well, they're closer to being not ranked than they are to being ranked. So I'll put them in probably the lowest tier we have. Not disrespectfully. I mean, it's still you're a ranked team, great season, but that's where I'm at. I'm at a no B tier, C tier situation.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like the hard decisions. I think Bagwork made a good case, but for me, I agree with Riles. The reason that we don't have other teams above them is simply for the fact that they're not in the top 25. And it's like you go look at the win, and their best win is a 6-5 Alabama, and no shade against Alabama or any of the teams we're playing with. It's all competitive at the end of the day, but we're talking about Auburn, who is a quality user with a quality team. Your biggest
Auburn has a
Wisconsin.
three touchdown loss against Texas A&M, and yeah, they shellacked Wisconsin, which is, beating Wisconsin that bad is a good win to me, but yeah, he doesn't really have any quality wins, and the teams we're talking about being in the tier, he had three touchdown loss to them. So yeah, but Baylor, I think, is a little bit of a different story. Baylor's kind of been handling business for me, but
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, you'll see that updated in the power rankings in the Discord. Little controversial. Same thing we say every week. If you don't like it, say something. Fix it. Leave a comment in the Discord or fix the play on the field. I believe we should have some shakers and mover next week with conference championships. So I think the list will be a little fuller next week, depending on some of the losses that the CPU will take. We won't be back before conference championships, will we?
probably over. Probably be middle of the playoffs. Maybe playoffs might even be over. Hopefully.
Gotcha.
Okay. They move fast. I don't hate it.
Yeah. Depending on what, we'll just do a end of season top 25, and then we might need to do a whole show just tier list of all 30 teams. Really make some folks upset.
Oh man, we don't need to embarrass nobody like that.
It wouldn't be embarrassment. It just, again, it's the same thing we've been saying every week. If you don't like it, change it on the field. I don't got no skin in the game. I don't got no feelings. If you say, hey man, you played at F tier, well, I can't argue on 5 and 7. I played at F tier. So
we got some 2 and 10s out there. There's gonna be
we could just make
there's gonna be a few down
room
there
for improvement. How about that? We won't put F. We'll just say room for improvement.
That need to lock in tier. That's what
Need to lock in. I think realistically, Bagwork, you got anything else that you want to touch on?
Not really. Only thing, I mean, we can maybe do it on the next episode, to be honest, after it's officially over, but interested to see who might be getting these Hall of Fame awards. But outside of that, I mean, not too much. Recruiting too, I don't know. We could check maybe what the top 25 is looking like as we come to a close.
See if we got any movers. Alabama's still strong for now. I think that's the only one we really predicted that's gonna move down. We saw all the people with 5 stars are still up here pretty strong.
Yeah, Texas having a heck of a class. Geez, 6 5-stars. That's major.
Yeah, that's great. Does that mean anything at 7 and 5 though?
Nope, but sure, eventually maybe his team gets so OP that
can't go over 99. I will say.
Yeah, you do already have a 99. That's true. I don't know if he gets a talent developer though. It might get spooky out there with all the guys he has. But yeah, interesting. It's crazy. Tennessee's only 1 point behind, but I guess it's early still. A lot of dudes don't have 4 stars locked in like they will. So
Right.
I'm just trying to stay in the top 5 myself, man. If we can, that'd be huge for the program. But we'll see.
Yes, sir.
Definitely got to pass.
Ohio State able to lock in five stars, and LSU rounded out the top 10 with Notre Dame 9. We got any more 5 stars in the bound to Death Valley down there?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we're only getting 2 this year.
And then Notre Dame with 4 or 5 stars, keeping their recruiting class pretty strong. Georgia, no matter the record, still able to recruit. Penn State, no matter the record, still able to recruit. Texas A&M with some 3 stars. Okay. Respect.
Yeah, uncommitted 5 stars yet? Still?
Let's check.
Just one gem I'm in a battle with UNC for.
I remember him, the
At least
defensive
maybe
tackle. The D tackle, right?
He's a
Linebacker
edge setter.
and an edge setter. Yes, sir. The only 2 5 stars not committed.
Dang. Wow, that's crazy. Clemson might get another one. Looks like UNC's got the edge there, and looks like Georgia's going to come down the stretch and get that last guy as well.
South Florida. That's 5 tier for Clemson, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Clemson does have the pipeline.
Doesn't matter though. Doesn't matter so far.
Yeah, we'll see. That those usually don't end up picking where they're going to go until the end of the year, but end of the transfer portal, really.
He's a 5-star gem as well. Very good.
Big time recruit. Could be going to UNC. That'd be major for UNC's programs. I mean, also for Clemson getting the top 5 class, he needs that, but super major for UNC. Looks like UNC's starting to be able to creep back in on linebacker as well.
Yep.
I don't know if it's too little, too late, but
Kentucky, I would assume Georgia probably has a high pipeline for that if he's moving like that.
I think he was able to get him on a visit last week, is what it was. I think his deal breakers like play style, and they were all locked out for most of the season.
Yep.
And yeah, I think Georgia got like allowed back in to recruit him a week early and put him on a visit. So that's where that big jump comes from.
Gotcha. Sir, that is all I have. Files, bag. You got anything else? I'm good. Favorite part was the power rankings. I liked it. People are gonna be upset.
I can't wait for that.
Let
I
us know
love-
about it.
I love when the chat's on fire.
Yes, sir. Trials. Good luck coming up. We won't see you again
I need it,
before conference championship. Good luck against your bout with Tennessee. Bag. Good luck with your bout against Zevi. Again, always a good game. These will be
Got TCU first though.
Oh, you got. Oh yeah.
Got TCU first.
Let's not look past the opponent right in front of you. Even if TCU would be willing to just let us advance, we gotta talk about it. Good luck, sir. Good luck, gentlemen.
Sir.
Well wishes for both of you in the playoffs, and we'll be keeping track. Again, if you don't like what we got to say, prove it on the field or let us know in the comments. Texas A&M, you was talking crazy all season. Talking about we ain't talking about you. We talked about you, and you lost. A little disappointing. So we've been talking about you losing. But we talked about you like you wanted. I told you we was going to keep an eye on you. If anybody else has anything to say, we're here every week now. Gentlemen, I love it. I love the energy. I love that y'all keep coming back. If you have anything else to say, please let us know. For Frowls, for Bad Work, I'm out.
Appreciate y'all.